they weren't allowed to quit because the parents were involved. How many times did you try quitting?
I didn't try quitting ever.
You just hated it?
No, I didn't hate it. I was very cooperative, but, you know, I would come home just not
Stubborn?
Not stubborn. I was just like I am right now, like about that guy not being very nice, you know?
Yeah.
So I would just come home and express how mean he was to me, or, you know. I don't remember who did it last time. I might have chick. Alright, guys. Night 1 of our first drainy journey experience.
Pretty much was draining.
Yeah, it was. Did you cry a lot like you thought?
What did you say?
Did you cry a lot like you thought?
Actually, I thought I was gonna hold it a lot better than I did. But I didn't. I kinda broke out.
We're making grilled cheese sandwiches at
1:30 a.m.
1:30 in the morning Utah time, 12:30 Tucson time. I made breakfast this morning and got the pan all burnt up because we didn't have pans until now.
Pam.
And we're going to talk about our journey experience for today. We've already talked about it a lot, so it's kind of like things that we haven't talked about yet, you'll hear. Morning. Our battery died on us last night. Well, only reason why that was is because I didn't charge it before we left. And the other battery was dead too. It's a good thing I came prepared with a brand new battery charger.
Sound like
A game show host?
yeah.
Right now, Colissa and I are doing homework for Journey. We're supposed to write one full page about 4 of these questions, or 4 of these statements that we're supposed to add on to. And so far, I'm on page 1 of question 1, and that's how much I've written so far. I gotta go all the way down to there. Who knows if anybody's gonna read these, but my prediction is that I'm gonna stand up and talk about them. You know something? I bet you anything that they're not going to go off of what we predict. I bet a lot of other people's predictions are going to be that they're going to stand up and talk about what they wrote. But what if they say, okay, pass your paper to the left of the person you're sitting with. Okay, and then the person has it, and they're all, okay, or maybe they're saying, like, fold your paper or something so that you can't see what's inside or something like that, right? Mm-hmm. And then pass your paper to the left person, and then pass the person to the person sitting in front of you, right? And pass the paper to the person sitting to the left, and then pass the person sitting in the back, and then something crazy like that. And they're like, okay, now I want you to stand up and read that person's paper. You know? No, read that person's paper to yourself, and if you feel like it's a worthy story, stand up and read it.
Oh my god.
Can you see that happening? I could see them saying that you can volunteer. Okay, my first prediction is that they're going to say that I can volunteer my words and speak out loud for myself, which...
I don't mind if somebody else reads mine. Wait, I do, because I spell really bad and they probably wouldn't understand the word I was saying.
But then again, like, you know how he was talking about other people's experiences?
Mm-hmm. Keep it personal.
Yeah, he says don't talk about other people's experiences, right? Uh-huh. Just speak for yourself. So I could see us not doing that just because if we did that, then we wouldn't be speaking for ourselves.
Well, a lot of people have to realize that it's called homework, and you're not going to put personal stuff into your homework, you know. Maybe you are, but
these are personal questions. How would we not?
Where is...
I had a really bad dream about my teeth. I dreamed that I got another space here, and that all my teeth, all my regular teeth, were like shifted up, and then my normal tooth was coming down, because of my one tooth that keeps trying to come down. I felt like that one tooth got everything out of whack, and it was really nasty. I looked like that guy from the Goonies, that monster dude with the
Where's your cell phone?
gums. It's in that box. What are you looking for, my cell phone? What the word? What's the word I'm
Not
looking for?
available.
What?
Yeah, push 520.
Just push. Hold down 3.
Oh, well, see, all I have to do is push 3 and then call.
Oh. That's my ring.
I told you it was. I tell you?
Yeah, a long time ago when I had that for your ring too, I think.
That's you had it for everybody's ring, so I figured, like, that's what reminded. That song reminded me of you, because every time your phone rang, it rang like that.
Yeah, I remember that song. You gonna sit here and do homework with me? You gonna do homework yet? No?
Oh, just look at this cake. Stupid class that I couldn't take any Advil.
Yeah, the stupid classes, they challenge her not to take any Advil, any mind-altering drugs, and so if you have a headache, just experience it. But if you go to a doctor, he's going to say, take medicine.
Can I go to a doctor here? No.
Well, that's not the point. The point
What's
is,
the point?
if you went to a doctor, he would tell you to take medicine. So, really, the Advil is...
But I understand that they want you to experience everything. So that's why I'm trying to experience having a really bad headache in the morning.
Well, you had
I'm
it
trying to
last
get
night,
rid
too.
of it without drugs.
I always experience my headaches. I rarely ever take my pills.
Anymore, you used to be a druggie.
I know. Not that bad of a druggie. Alright, I'm going to shut off for a second so I can keep writing up.
Okay. This is my page on trust. My feelings about trust are kind of hard to explain. I feel that I can trust someone until they show me that they are not trustable. And in some cases, I feel that they might have to earn my trust. If I can find my spot. Okay. I see myself very trusting because I'm very gullible. I really can't find the BS in people very easily. As Royce would call it, I'm a space cadet. I don't understand things very easily. If someone told me that they needed to borrow some money and told me that they would pay me back, I'd believe them. Or should I say I'd trust them. I've always trusted what my parents say, and I still do because I feel that they are more experienced. There's an obvious problem when it comes to my mom and my money. I went to go get my first checking account, but I was too young. And you would think that I'd go to my mom to get it into her name. But I felt I couldn't trust her with my money. I felt I could trust my boyfriend's mom with my money better than I could my own mom. I did put my trust in my stepdad to be as my own. But I feel I was let down in that area. I feel like he treats me like an employee. He will tell me what to do and boss me around. But when it comes to him being a father to me, he always lets me down. Maybe I just put too much trust in him, and that's why he lets me down. I know that one of the things I'd like to learn in Journey is when people BS me, I can catch it.
Can I ask you a few questions?
Huh?
Can I ask you a few questions?
What?
Why don't you trust Mom with the money?
I feel like she's given me money, and every time that I tell her, I don't know. Like, I know she's given me money, and that's really nice, but if I had my name in her account before when she was really poor, because that was what I was trying to get my checking account, I felt like she would borrow money from me, maybe without asking, and just not pay me back. And if I confronted her about it, she'd be like, well, I've given you money, and so it was always really...
I'm your mother. I put the money on the table, we put it on the table, and...
I feel like she's always stolen from me after Dad died because of the Social Security money. So I feel like that's always been taken from me. So I didn't want to trust her with anything else, you know. I trusted that she would, you know, help me when I needed clothes, but no, she had to pay me $50, or she had to give me $50 for school clothes, you know.
And what did you try to go to Keith about for your father issues when he turned you down?
Just when, like, at the very beginning, when I wanted to have a dad, you know. I'd call him dad, like, I remember calling him dad this one time, or saying that I love you, and he just went, uh-huh, to me. Like, he didn't say I love you back, he just went, uh-huh. You know?
Recently after Dad died?
Yeah. Yeah. I wanted to feel like I had a father, you know.
Because he was being loving to his kids.
Yeah, I like to see that he was, you know, honest to his kids and everything.
So have you tried to ask him to be a father, or have you tried treating him like a father since then?
No. I won't go near that ever again.
It was too painful.
Yeah. Especially after Dad died, you know. So hard. You just want to have to think about it, you know. Because you know what's going to happen. So you don't want to, you know that you're going to cut yourself if you put a knife to your, you know, hand, you know. So you don't want to do it again because you know how dumb it is, you know. So it's like, you know, you're going to get hurt. You try doing it again, so. Crappy things.
Huh?
Crappy things.
Read me your,
First one.
mm-hmm.
It takes me so long to write these. Okay, between 1 and 10, 10 being the highest, I feel that my participation on Wednesday night was at maybe a 7. I feel like I was participating in all of the segments, but I wasn't being wasn't being honest to myself. The first way I noticed not being honest was when I really was trying to avoid people. I cry really easily, so if I could talk to other people about my problems, I would feel vulnerable. I avoid becoming vulnerable because I always like to feel strong. Another way I feel I wasn't being honest with myself is about my name. My real name is Colissa Pollard, and I feel I am not proud of that name Pollard, because I wanted to come into Journey anonymous. But I am really proud of that name. It represents my family and but mostly represents my dad, or my father. I avoid talking about him a lot because he passed away when I was a little girl. I feel like I need him now more than ever, but I avoid crying over him. I feel that I wasn't fully participating when I wanted to say something or comment on something because I was avoiding talking in front of everyone. I feel I need to take a chance so that I can say I put my 100% in this class, and I can get the most experience from this. I avoid things by not raising my hand to be called on or crying right when I felt the emotions come on. I feel that I am going to participate on Thursday class, which is today, the fullest, and maybe take a couple of chances.
Cool.
That's about it. Are you going to read yours now?
Yeah, I'll read them when I'm all done. I'm almost done with this one. Hi. I'm going to share my 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 pages with you.
Ooh, sounds like fun.
Are you glad we came, Colissa?
Yeah. Why wouldn't I be?
Well, because I know you were telling me in the car before that the main reason why you were coming was because I asked you to.
But you know I've always wanted to come, you know?
Yeah, you always wanted to know what they were talking about. You always felt left out.
Yeah.
Isn't that true?
Yeah.
Every time they talked about Journey, you were like, Crystal and Christopher got to do it. I wish I would have.
But then everybody kept telling me it was bad, and then it was too good, and then...
Who told you it was bad?
Well, Keith and Mom,
Oh.
like every day of my life.
If Keith knew you were doing this now, he'd be so pissed, huh?
I don't care. Seriously, you could just blow me.
Can you guys hear her? Probably not.
Who are you talking to?
The camera.
Yeah, but I don't think they can tell you if they can hear me or not.
Well, I I was just being concerned for them because maybe they might respond to the TV and say no, and then I would be right. Like, I saw a videotape that was so emotional of Mom and Dad when Mom was pregnant with me.
Yeah.
And I was supposed to be due the next day, but I didn't come till 2 weeks later.
2 weeks later?
Yeah. So they were talking to the camera as if I was going to come out the next day.
Yeah.
So they were like, oh, wow, can you imagine when our daughter is like 20-something years old? Oh, my goodness, that's going to be like 2,000. Oh, my goodness, Mary, can you believe that?
Yeah.
And they were like, holy cow, I wonder what prices of gas and milk are going to be like. And so they, they were just like, they were all over the subject about what it was going to be like in the future.
Yeah.
And they were like, are you going to be married? Oh my goodness, can you imagine our daughter being married? Holy cow, and
Yeah.
the way Dad looked in his eyes, you could just tell he couldn't see that future. Like,
Yeah.
Mom was just like, yeah, it's going to happen. And Dad was just like, my daughter getting married? My daughter? Oh my goodness, my daughter having kids? Me being a grandpa? He kept saying that. Like, me being a grandpa? He couldn't imagine it. It just, like, it was mind-boggling for him.
That's really weird,
Yeah, because he never was a grandpa, you know what I mean?
He still isn't. If he was alive,
That's true.
he would start it back. Make babies.
But you know something? Is I always could not see that kind of future for me. I can't see myself being a mother, and I can't see myself being a grandma, and it's really hard for me to watch that in Dad's eyes going, oh my goodness, and then him not being able to experience that.
Yeah.
So I've told Jeremy, I'm like, you know what? I can see myself not being a mother, and I can see myself not living my life forever and ever. And it's really sad to say that, but it's hard for me to see it.
A lot of people, just like Tyler, you want one too? Just like Tyler, I told you, he couldn't see himself going to high school. He would always tell me things like that, And when you can't see that, probably it's true,
Thanks, Lissa.
Well, I'm saying that it's weird to know that Dad thought that,
Well, he was just so mind-boggled, like, he was excited about it, but it was just like, no way. My daughter having kids? Oh my goodness, it's like, and maybe it was so mind-boggling to him because he knew I wasn't going to have kids. I don't know.
No, because he wasn't going to be there to see it.
Jeno.
Oh, that's yellow. That's how I remember to say yellow. It's spelled yellow. Y-E-L-L-O-W.
Is that serious? What a dork.
Oh, don't even talk about being dorks, Crystal. You're like the biggest dork of all.
I never thought of
I
yellow like
that. We are.
You know what? I think I might have taught you that. Yeah. It just sounded very familiar all of a sudden.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you ready? I'm going to share my 7 pages with you. It's already noon. Wow.
It's still only 11. 2 sometimes.
Well, we have to go off Utah time now because we're on a schedule.
Yeah, shut up.
Okay, ready? Read. My participation on Wednesday night was better than I expected myself to give. I felt that the first night was easy for me, which in turn, I feel I gave it my all. When I felt like sharing, I did. When I felt like crying, I did. When I felt like smiling to the person I was looking at, I did. I don't feel that I was trying to hide my feelings at any point. Unfortunately, I'm still not being 100% honest about my family name, Pollard. I'm married now, so my last name is naturally different, but it's still really close to Pollard. My name is Crystal Poland, like the country Poland. It's really similar, huh? My sister is Colissa Pollard, but we entered this training secretly to avoid any of our family knowing we have entered into the journey class. We're not ashamed to be Pollards. But we are, what's the word I'm looking for, maybe stubborn? I'm too proud to admit that maybe they were right. But I know that journey works. I just didn't want to admit then, like I do now, that journey is what I need to get my life on track. Reading this now, after what you had just said about giving the credit to Journey, makes me want to change that.
What?
I know that Journey works, and I didn't want to admit that Journey is what I need to get my life on track. What I need to get my life on track isn't Journey.
Mm-hmm.
It's to admit that I have been I've been avoiding things, and I need to confront things, and
Aren't we going to learn more than just avoiding and confronting?
I just can't say anything now because I don't know.
See how smart I am? I know.
Journey is not a religion.
It's not. Just people turned into it. Not the people who work there. The people who go to it and try recruiting people and make us think it's a religion.
Mm-hmm. AKA the Pollards.
Yep. Petersons.
No, I never got any pressure from the Petersons. Ever. Did you?
Kind of from Paul, but he didn't like pressure me.
When?
Christmas born. I remember seeing him when we went and talked to him. Visited him that one time.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, probably boring sitting here talking. Can you keep reading?
This discovery came back to me in May.
I'm gonna walk here.
I don't know. I don't care. And with all the pressure, drama, and arguments that my entire family gave us about starting the training, I felt very against my new idea back in May. Unless I would go to the training as an alias name. That way, I would get special attention and I would be treated like anyone else whose entire family hasn't been through the trainings. So I guess my participation wasn't 100% because I wasn't being 100% honest to 100% of people. Because I was 100% honest to some people, but not everybody.
Mm-hmm.
So therefore, I can't say that my participation was 100%. And that's the first one. Number 2. How I feel about trust is unsure. I know that I find myself comparing and judging myself and others to a certain standard I have in my mind. I trust everyone in the training with my thoughts. I feel that we are all here to achieve similar results, and so I ask myself, why wouldn't I trust anyone here? Then I got into looking closer at the word trust. Do I trust everyone with my money? No. Do I trust everyone with my heart? No. Do I trust everyone to see where I'm coming from? Oh, hell no. I'm used to having people not see where I'm coming from. And when I was a teenager, I kept quiet about trusting people with the real me. Then I went through the teen trainings at Rising Star and learned about the real me. And I even had my phrase that gave me confidence to say that to myself. So since then, I've been very open with my feelings to everyone. I didn't play the BS game until other people entered in my life and told me I was being too judgmental. So I naturally felt I couldn't be myself on the outer image, so I kept my judgments hidden. But I didn't trust anyone with the real me. My husband doesn't express his feelings hardly ever. So it became a big problem for me not to express the real me. I was always able to when we first got together, but he told me I wore him out. With all the nagging, complaining, emotional drama. After a bunch of arguments, I learned I couldn't trust him with how I truly feel without him wanting to stay in the bullshit. See, I just went on and went on. I learned I couldn't trust him with how I truly feel without him wanting to stay in the bullshit. In the pretend lifestyle that everything was just fine. So I closed off. I became Kathy, my alter ego, who can handle everything, who can smile and be pleasant. He responded positively to Kathy, until even Kathy started to trust him too much. Then the real me came up again. I would beg, plead, run away, and wait for him to come and find me, which he never did. And I yelled, screamed, demand, and even go silent. He would not take off his shell. He wouldn't let me in. Remind you, he's been this way for 7.5 years, never open to me while I'm being real. He's gotten better about listening to me, but he's still very defensive and tends to see everything I say to him as an attack. Maybe I conditioned him to be like this, like he says, or maybe he's been defensive all his life. He doesn't trust me, and he doesn't trust me, and not just me. He doesn't trust anyone with his feelings. Or at least that's the message I see. So my feelings on trust are two-sided. I'm trusting to people who want my true self, but the people who are closest to me are not as trusting to receive it. Will you hand me my pen now? Do you have a pen here?
Yeah. There, let's see, stick it up.
I wanted to change this part. You're still hungry, huh?
I wanna get rid of this headache.
You still have it? You want me to pinch shake it?
Not really.
Drink some water.
I've been.
Not very much. It's been over there the whole time. Alright, I'm ready for my third one. You ready? What am I going?
Just a little.
How I feel about risking? Well, it all depends. Are you asking me to risk my life, my soul, or my money? Jeremy says this is getting mad.
I thought you were going to say it.
I'm not going to care watch. I guess I'm not willing to risk very much. I'll risk my heart a lot to say what it is I really feel that I need to say. I have a confession. I have an issue that I want to confront head on. I've been ashamed to admit this to anyone, even to my sister Colissa, but I trusted her, and now I'm taking a risk, and I'll trust you with this part of me. This is a very secretive part of me. Ever since my husband started avoiding me and his life by playing EverQuest, I felt very rejected, ignored, unloved. I would demand him to participate in my life, in his life. He once had dreams, ambitions, and goals, and now he's stuck in a fantasy life earning millions of tunar and chatting to hundreds of players as I lay on my bed sobbing and writing in my journal. I complete a journal about once a year. I've been with Jeremy for 7.5 years now. That's a lot of complaining. I'm avoiding my secret. Okay, here it is. I've been very desperate to find someone new to fulfill this void of unconditional love. I have attempted to start a relationship with 2 other men. I've started off by writing secret admirer letters and even went as far as to ruining my friendship with a really great coworker. I wrote Brandon an email and expressing my feelings for him. Those feelings were genuine and true, but scary. I wrote at the end of the email, "If your feelings are not anywhere close to mine, please don't respond and I'll take the hint." One form of anxiety towards feeling rejected. One form of anxiety, feeling rejected. That's why I told him not to write me back if he didn't feel the same way, because I didn't want to feel rejected. He hasn't wrote back, and I still check my emails every day, just in case. The other guy, Steve, a complete stranger, he waved at me once while I was at the counter in the service deli at Albertsons. I got butterflies and thought of true love as I waved back with my eyes. He wrote me back, and he wrote me back, and once I gave him my identity, he responded sort of mute. I couldn't understand why he was interested at first and then not. I took it as a sign that it wasn't meant to be. And this whole time, I'm still me with my husband, a more positive me. I love my husband a lot, I'm just not in love with him. How can I be in love with somebody who is afraid to trust me with their feelings? I guess my condition for in love is not unconditionally. I need to risk telling my husband how I feel without blaming, judging, or attacking. How do I do that? Number 4. A completely different subject. How do I feel about my small group? I feel uncomfortable with the group that I chose. I chose the group because Robin was in that group. She was my dyad partner, the first stranger I opened up to. She felt like a mom to me. Alex seemed to have a faux image that he was trying to portray. My experience from him was clunk in disguise. He seems to be doing and saying things to portray the image of someone who gets it, but I don't feel that he has yet. My experience of Heather is that she's not 100% mentally, emotionally, physically, or spiritually ready for this training. I feel that she doesn't respect others around her, and I don't feel like she truly wants to change her image. I feel that she has a negative pull on our group.
Do you feel like they're going to say that? Mm-hmm. That you have to speak up?
If they do, I'll be honest with them.
It's probably because they want you to be honest and they want you to express your feelings, right?
Well, they also want you to give honest feedback.
Yeah.
Like, this is my honest feedback, So I'll be honest if they ask me to. I feel that she has a negative pull on our group. I hope we can help her somehow, or maybe she's there to teach us something. Cheryl seems very closed up. I don't feel a lot of friendly vibes coming from her. My experience is that she's shy, withdrawn, and often lonely. I feel that Debbie, my group leader, is not fully ready to staff this class with confidence. She seems unsure of herself and often not truly understanding or listening to the other members in my group. Remember how I explained that to you last night? I was very rude about it last night. I'm like, come on, we just got done over that. She's so stupid. I kept saying how dumb she was, but I said that very nicely. How I don't feel like she's fully ready to take on this class. Sunshine's husband, I forget his name, seems very macho. Don't tell me what to do. He seems like he's not truly ready either. Julian and the other young man in the ball cap seemed like they were very forced/influenced to be here. They weren't participating 100% and often put their bodies in closed body position. I wonder if they will choose to let go of their image to reveal the real them while they're here. Kathy seems nice, but maybe also intimidated so much she puts on a fake smile. One that shows she's okay with everything, but not with her true emotions. That's funny because that's not talking about me.
Who?
Kathy.
Who's Kathy?
It's a girl that was sitting a couple of seats down from me. But it's funny because that could be my alter ego, the one I was portraying last night. Just, I felt like I was being real last night, but I also don't feel like I was real enough, yeah. Debbie, the other Debbie, seems to be very real to me. She let out her emotions and became honest with herself, and then she was on the hot seat. Became honest with herself when she was on the hot seat. As I look back now, I can't remember all of their names, but I'll be able to get to know them and what they're about more today. And that's it. That's all she wrote.
Now you can write mine.
No, that's okay.
Yes, please.
I'm not going to write yours for you.
Okay. I wrote a half a page when Crystal finished a 2-page one. Okay. That's how slow I am. That's how fast she is. And I don't like writing. And I don't know how to spell. And I'm really just area up there. You know what I mean?
I'll write for you if you give me the thoughts.
That doesn't help me.
Sure it does.
You can give
I'll
me
spell it right for you. Come on, Colissa.
What?
Get to work. Quit avoiding it.
I want to sleep.
Okay, go to sleep.
Night night.
Go to sleep and avoid it. That's how you truly feel.